everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. Thank you for joining me today. Tuesday, March 12th, Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Tomorrow's the 12th. Today, we're just going to play. I had a busy day yesterday. Took our daughter back to school. I think I slept for 12 hours. She was home for spring break and came down, finished my project, and then just slept in. So I'm very late. But let me get my thank yous out, and then I'm just going to get started, and where we are going to end up, I don't quite know. But I'm going to tell you what I've been doing these for and part of my goal. So thank you to Dawn, Constance, Rachel, Gwenielle, Susan, Anita, Alexander, Cheryl, Stephanie, two Stephanies, Andrea, Yvette, Mary Kay, and Kathleen. Thank you so much for everything, your orders and everything, your comments, your likes, your subscribes, your shares. I appreciate it very much. So, I have been working on the stamps. And what I did was, I was wondering what would happen if I took some die cuts and arranged them on my blocks and used them for stamps, and they're fine, but they really weren't what I wanted. They weren't, I don't know, they weren't sketchy enough like my previous ones. You know, they were just a little too perfect. So I thought what I would do was, let me see if I can find one that's really going to show up here. What if I go in and draw on my die cuts, foams, shapes, and that way I can get more of a drawn effect, what I want, but I don't have to worry about cutting out all that little detail. So that's what I did. So I have a whole bunch of little die cuts here to make more stamps, if this works. Where's my notes? I am going to recommend that you use regular foam for when you get into intricate stuff like this. Trying to pull off that adhesive and get this out of the die cut at the same time was a nightmare. So I would recommend, if you're going to do complex shapes, you use the regular foam. If you're going to do simple shapes, you can use the adhesive backed foam. So there's that. So let me show you some of the ones I made. Love this, the leaves. And then I decided to use the positive or the negative and put some little drawings on that. See what happens. This one I love because I can get like a sweater effect, a totem effect. Here's some crazy flowers. And this one was the first one, which I liked, but it just didn't have the full personality of what I wanted. So that's what you'll need, your assorted foam. And you'll need a ballpoint pen, which I actually went and got some more pens as well. And I'm wondering if I should bring another one over here just in case, which I'm going to do. Just in case. So let me go through this. Ones I already stamped here so you can kind of get an idea of what the image is like. There's a couple more negative ones I'm going to mount probably. Okay, here we go. Now this was with my favorite watercolor. And I've discovered there are some limitations to the watercolor. But maybe I have found a solution. I was wondering, do these stay or do they not stay? I went over and redrew all these again last night. And I really can't tell if it's going to stay, the image I mean, or if it's just the ink that's disappearing when I wet it with watercolor and then clean them off as well. So I thought maybe I would try putting a clear coat of acrylic medium over the top to try to kind of like seal the foam a little bit, as well as keeping the image impressed, because when I see people using acrylics with this, they use them over and over and over, and it doesn't seem like things disappear. But when I use the watercolor, it seems like the detail disappears over time, and I don't want that. Because of course I don't want to do all that work and then keep having to retrace the image every time I want to use it. So I'm going to experiment with that a little more, and I'll let you know how it turns out, but so far I think it might work. So, and then the way I'm going to overcome that today is using a more dry medium, and that will be watercolor markers and markers. But let me get to that in a second. So here's the watercolor impressions of all of those. Love the cup. This one was the first one. This one, couldn't draw too much on that one on top, but I did draw the little dots. So, okay, there's all that. So, I moved on to a more dry medium, which was the markers. And that seems to work better. So that is what I'm going to show you today, is the markers. And then let me show you some of the directions I really want to take this. My dog's out there going crazy. We finally have a nice sunny week. Okay, I think I did one in here. Oh, and by the way, the soap does do something, because I went on to trying to stamp with rubber stamps, and the stamps that work the best are not the polymer or whatever it is, but the red rubber, but your watercolor beads up on it. But if you add soap to your watercolor, it does not bead up. So that helped me determine that the soap actually does have an effect on slick surfaces that might not readily accept watercolor. I thought I put one of my little things in here. Maybe not. Apparently not. Okay. Well, I don't know where I stamped that. Okay, I'll move on and show you this one. So in my mind, I made another little easy spine because I'm trying to work out this problem. So this was one with stamps, regular rubber stamps. But here are some of these stamps. And what I want to do is a meditation journal. And I would like these to put an image somewhere. Maybe in any journal. Maybe I want a little image in the corner, which I thought I had more than one book here to show you that. That I put the little leaves in. And now I don't know where it went. I forget which book it was. It wasn't this one either. Okay. Let me go back to where it was. Okay. So that's what I want them for. So I can have a little art piece on a journal page that I did myself. So I'm trying to decide, how do I want this journal to be? So I'm playing around. So I don't know if you can see it, but this image is in the background. There's that little swirl, that little flower, that leaf. And then I had this page for color inspiration. So I didn't have to worry about color. It didn't turn out because I accidentally dipped in the orange and I didn't want orange. So it's off. But there's my little stamp in the background. There's my meditative repeat, slow your mind down, and there's my little meditation. And yay, I wrote in a journal. I actually wrote in a journal. There wasn't a, we ate at this restaurant today, blah, 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 and it was lovely, or we went to this park or whatever. It wasn't a chronicle event. So I wrote my little meditation. And this is upside down, of course. And then we have all of these that I can use for the color. And then I can do the other side like a cat hand journal. I just grabbed a bunch of pages and threw this together in 5 minutes. So maybe we'll do another one of these today. Or maybe we'll, this one I love too. There's my thing, but I did not do any meditative. Just a little mark making in the end. So that's what I'm really trying to decide. Do I want my meditation journal to be painty, like this? But I really want to, the circle making, the mark making, the repetitive, get into the flow, really appeals to me because it is truly extremely relaxing. And I do want to definitely incorporate that. So that's where I am. I'm just, maybe I don't do a stamp at all. Maybe I just do the meditation and the repetitive marks. I don't know. So, okay, let's move on. And if we have time, I'll do a little thing in another little book here. And if not, I'll just show you the mark making and how it works with markers. Here's my little meditation book. Have a bunch of meditations for every day. You could use anything, of course, quotes, whatever. So I picked this up at Five Below just so I could test. And then I have assorted markers, and my idea is when you want color, you go for the kid colors, which I do. And they transfer very well. And I have a whole bunch of markers here. All of them I think are washable, so that might be important. Okay, so let's just get something drawn on here. And then another thing, since I don't want to keep using water to wash these off, I didn't wash this off too much. I'm going to see what happens when I lay a marker on top of another marker. Am I going to get mud the second time around? And I don't want that either. So I grabbed the wrong pen. Let's get this pen started. I went and bought a whole new set of ballpoint pens, 2 different kinds, so I could get this the way I wanted it. I did have an idea. I think I want some swirlies on here. On one side, and then what do I want on the other? Maybe some solid lines. So I've been playing with stamps now for a couple of weeks. Because 1, they're unique. 2, they're easy. 3, it's just, do I keep the foam or do I move on to styrofoam, which I know keeps the shape of what you put in there. Okay, what do I have here? I think I want some dots. Let's make some large dots. Can't go wrong with dots. They always show up, and they always seem to keep in the foam. Let's just go crazy and make the whole thing dotted. And then some of these I cut out. And they make great fodder. A whole little tray. Like so. Let's just do another plain one. I'm applying moderate pressure. Don't want to poke through my foam. Okay, I think I'll leave those ones as is. So So let's get this markered up here with the watercolor markers. And let's go light to dark. So I'm going to see what happens. These are okay. I don't know if I love them. I don't know if I hate them. Haven't had enough time to try. And I just was thinking, okay, I'll bite at Five Below to see if I even like these things before, if I want to order them again or not. And that's another thing. I was goofing around this morning. Yesterday was my daughter's birthday. So when we picked her up, see, I got my yellow all muddy now from the ink. But I just want to see what happens with yellow. See, that's not too bad, except it picked up the ink from the pen. Now I have to try to clean that off. So let's move on to a darker. Might as well put blue, because we're going to get some kind of green probably. You can also wet your paper. I don't have a... Ideally, you should wet it with a sponge and get it to not shiny. And that works really well. Don't have a sponge in front of me here. And you're picking up black ink too. So even these are kind of wet, but they are not as wet as the watercolors. And I am just not... I'm just not an acrylic. It's not that I don't like acrylics. What I don't like is the cleanup. So there we go. I knew I would get a green. So apparently the colors do blend. And what didn't come out there? My swirls did not come out. And they barely came out on that one. So maybe I just didn't press hard enough. Let's do that again. And let's go for a dark. Now you watch when I bring out the kid markers. The kid markers are fabulous. And I always say when you want color, go for the kid markers and don't worry about it, because your journal isn't going to be hanging in a sunny window. And I have really old kid marker stuff that's still vibrant. Okay. So yeah, here's the thing. Now that I went over all that with dark, how am I going to get it off? because now I can't see my design. Okay, a little better. Let me see how many times I can get this stamped off. You're never going to get perfect with these, probably. But, I mean, that's okay there. I got most of it stamped off. I can see my design again. Okay. So there is the watercolor markers. You can wet your paper. You can mist in the air and go underneath with your stamp and get a tiny bit of water on your foam, and then that works too. But here is the one that, if you want results, where'd my little heart go? Here's my little heart. Let me show you that. That's the one I put the acrylic clear gloss on top, just to try to protect it a little bit. So let's see how that's going to work. I think it works. Yes. Okay. This is one I love. I'll do this end because the other end already has blue or green on it, I think. This could give me totems and all kinds of things. And you could do every one in a different color. That's another benefit of markers. You can add more color. And I even bought these crazy art to do something different. Ooh, love that. I pressed a little too hard on there. Let's do that again. So see if I just want a little something. Little something in the corner. Little something somewhere. But it's still unique. I was thinking of doing this in the winter journal because it kind of reminds me of a sweater. There we go. Here's those two. And that came out a lot better yesterday. So let me get a, let me see if I press that off. Get it as clean as possible. And then do a darker color. Because that's a marker. That's a marker. They were excellent yesterday. So let me get this blue. Now see, I can't see my black ink on there, barely, from my pen. And you could do the same with the kid markers. You can wet your paper. So I'm getting a dual effect there. Maybe I use a different marker from a different. I didn't use that. Didn't use that. I don't know which one I used to get that, but it came out very dark and very distinct. Maybe I did use the watercolor. Let's see. Oops, wrong end. I was playing around so much. Can't remember what I was doing. I mean, regardless, these are still going to come out because of their shape. But I really wanted to keep the drawn detail. So I guess it's not a, there we go. There's a dark watercolor marker. That's what I did apparently. And I still get a second and even a third ghost off there. So there we go. There's the 2. And we're at 32. So let me just move on. And choose a page here, which is kind of, let me get a little bit of something on here. Okay. Let me try orange. See what happens. No, that's pink. And then keep a piece of paper next to you, like so. Okay, that's not bad. It's mixing a little, but I can live with it. So let me go in here, get a little something in the corner. Then I'll try to do a little meditative. Okay, not bad, kind of primitive. I don't know why the center one didn't come out as well. I meant to grab my cardboard piece there so I could get a solid, probably because of this, what's in the back. I'm not getting a flat surface, but that's okay. These over here are very sketchy. So let me get these pens out of the way. I didn't bring my writing pen. Might have to go get that. Let me get my meditation. So I pick a meditation. And then I see what it says to me. And I see how much space I might need to write it out. But I kind of like that one. And then I would put a little area to write in. Not too dark. I might do my writing off camera because that's the worst part, the hardest part. I'm like, oh no, if I write in here, I'm going to ruin it. If I try to do some kind of writing, it's all over. So let me just see here. Do something like that. I know I'm not going to get yellow on here, but I think I can fit my quote in there. Okay, I hope so. And then I will just take my favorite brush for doing circles, and circles is my go-to meditative shape because I can do circles on the live long day. And then what I try to do is never get the same color twice, but in the same family. But I would do my mark making, you know, based on what I'm feeling. Whoops. Okay, these aren't going to be perfect today, I'm sure, because I'm on camera. Let's get a little brighter in here. But when I want to relax, I have found that this is one of the best types of journals to do. And you could write your quote, you could think about it, and then begin. Or you could do your mark making. Whoops, your repetitive. I shouldn't even be worrying about that. The only reason I'm worrying about it is because I'm doing it in front of you. Okay. Get some more ochre. And I would just fill up this whole page. Doing circles until I'm in the zone. And this is like one of the most calming things I've ever found. And I don't know if I would have found it if I wasn't in bed. Well, yeah, I might have, because I've seen that person on Pinterest many times and I've really admired her pens. That's getting to be a little too much the same. Let me get some rust in there, or burnt sienna. probably partly because of the dark paper too. And you don't just have to do this, you can do a abstract color. I'm going to take this right down the page. Right into the corner. Start off with large circles, go to smaller. You can start off with small circles, smirkles, go to larger, but there you go. Usually I do fill up the entire page. I think I need a couple little dark ones. Here. And this page is also flopping. But usually I can end up doing perfect circles. And to me that shape is just very calming. So that's what I end up with. And then I put my little quote, my little meditation. When I'm not on video, I would be thinking more about my meditation than I would be thinking about making perfect circles. But that's a little bit difficult to do on here with trying to do two things at once. Okay, so there we go. Okay, I'll write my little quotation in there from my meditation, and that's my journey of the having a little illustration, doing some very, very relaxing journaling, and getting to also play. I'd like to combine all three if I can, so that's my goal. And yeah, I already showed you all the pages, and that's what I hope to achieve when I finally get this put together. But okay, everyone. Oh, well, okay, I'll tell you next time. Okay, thanks a lot for your time. I'll see you next time. Bye.